Micah. Thank you, Master of Ceremony. A very good morning I bid to the respected judges, the meticulous timekeepers, my fellow competitors, respected teachers, and friends. Allow me to enlighten all of you here today with my speech entitled Humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, standing here today, I would like to talk about the things that bring us together. The things that talk about our similarities instead of our differences. Because all that we tend to focus about in this world today is our differences. We tend to talk negatively about it, either being rich or poor, cool or lean, or male or female. So stirring up this knowledge is something that I like to do from time to time. But I also like to know that I can come back to the little things we have in common, the little universal moments we share separately. There are things that make us same and equal, but yet we hardly ever talk about it. Members of the flock, have you ever walked into a room and wondered why you went in there? The first two words which cross your mind are Alzheimer's disease. Or when you look at your watch and you don't know what time is it, and so you look again and you still don't know what time it is. Little experiences we all share. Like whenever you try to pick up a suitcase, you thought it was full, but it was actually empty. And just for a split second, you thought you had super strength. How about when you try to tell someone they have a little dirt on their face? You can never get them to rub the right spot. You always say, you know, you have a little dirt right here. And they always go, where? Here? And you feel like smacking that person. Do you notice how awful your face looks like in a restroom under fluorescent lighting? Every cut, scrape, scratch, scar, scan, bruise, boil, bump, pimple, one, and acne you had since birth all seem to come back at that same time. And all you can think about is, I have to get out of here. It's like eating ice cream and getting a brain freeze. It hurts so much, but you just have to wait for it to go away. And then it does. Then what do? Eat more ice cream. Now I bet you've nodded silently or giggled at some of the facts I've stated because you know you experienced them. See, we humans share a multitude of these universal moments, but yet we tend to separate. So the point of my entire speech is to prove to all of you that we are actually one. You, me, he or even she. We are all equal. And it's about time we start treating each other with humanity. The main step to flourish humanity within us beings is to respect. It should be part of human nature to treat others the way you would want yourself to be treated. We must also learn how to forgive and forget. I know it's hard to forget the past, and sometimes even harder to accept the present. But we must move on and leave behind any sort of resentments. For the hatred that we build in ourselves will not bring us any good. You know, some say envy is thin because it bites, but it never eats. It simply shows how much damage it can do to an individual, or on a larger scale, humanity itself. Hence, banishing envy and jealousy is also very important, as love is then bared in abundance toward the people around us, bringing about a healthy, happy environment. Kindness. It's too often that we underestimate the power of a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or even the smallest act of kindness, all which have the potential to turn life around. Materialism is also an aspect of our lives which we must discard. Why is status so determined and we feel judged by what we wear, or what car we drive, or where we live. We sign envy at parents with sports cars or with diamond rings, when it really means nothing. What matters most is what we do, not what we own. You know, we term ourselves human, but is it just a metaphor to what reality really is? Our knowledge has made us cynical. Our cleverness, hard and unkind. We think too much, but yet we feel too little. More than material wealth, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. And with that, I end my speech. Thank you.
Mic test. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. I bid to the chairperson, distinguished educators, precise timekeepers, and members of the board. Obesity, diabetes, hypertension, AIDS, global warming, and swimming. Do all these phenomena sound alien to us anymore? In fact, we all know how these hazardous phenomena can be battered and lasted defeated in our lives. Well, how would you like it if we proclaim that we are the fattest nation in Southeast Asia? Some surveys have actually proven that Malaysia has the highest obesity rate in Southeast Asia and ranks 6th in Asia-Pacific region. So, the question now is, what is the root cause of these problems and what alternatives do we have to overcome or at least reduce these threats on us? Well, the root cause is none other than we, ourselves, reacting in extremities. Thus, we face the music by its consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, do you know that everything we just wrote has its opposite, as so-called yin and yang in Chinese geometry? Well, this is an unavoidable fact of life. We know something is hot only in relation to something cold. Freedom is only meaningful when we experience the shackles of restriction. We value our health because we know that we are capable of falling ill. Moderation. Anything in excess harms your health. Too much work, worries, food, drink, or even leisure. Let me give you a few other simple analogies when we forget to have moderation in our daily lives. Now, overeating causes obesity, while undernourishment also causes malnutrition. Likewise, staying too long under the sun can result in heat stroke and sunburn. Not going out at all makes the skin pale and pallid. So, you see, being extreme is always the cause of pain. So, what I am suggesting now is, it is high time for us to be reflexive and have a change in our lifestyles in order to live a more peaceful life. And I believe that the solution is to take the path of moderation. Moderation, the quality of being moderate, avoiding extremes, and change for the better. The ancient Greeks had expressed it in two famous sayings from Oracle of Delphi: nothing in excess, and know thyself. Even our old Prime Minister, Dr. Najib Razak, has called on the world community to embrace moderation as the best course of action and move forward. He said, and I quote, "Moderation is the bedrock, or essence, of humanity's greatest heights, a solid bedrock on which all of the world's civilizations have been built." Unquote. Therefore, moderation is the key of life, and not just any life, but a happy and a balanced life. It is applicable for mental, emotional, physical, as well as spiritual lifestyles. Well, it is true that stress and depression is unavoidable in life, but not all stress is bad. How to draw the line is secondary. We must realize that we need to have a balance of work, family, God, as well as our own body. My dear audience, moderation also gives clarity in life. Being moderate means that you are present in every moment of your life and you can clearly distinguish between the necessities and unnecessary luxuries in life. Try asking yourself, do I really need this? Will I be happy without this? Believe me, you will become mindful of your life and you learn to live in the present. That is why Lucius Annius Seneca once said, and I quote, "The heart is great, which is moderation in the midst of prosperity." Unquote. However, some people say that by accepting the principle of moderation means that we settle for mediocrity in actions or aspirations. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrong perception. Being in a moderation path, we still aim for the best and do our best, but without pushing ourselves into extremities where our survival becomes perilous, and without having to impair our health and disturb our inner and outer equilibrium. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, when we live in moderation, we could prove to society, to the nation, to the world as well, that we have the willpower of controlling ourselves in whatever we do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a great achievement in life. So, let's make a difference. Live every day to the fullest in moderation. Action gives life strength, yes, but moderation gives it the charm. Finally, I would like to share with you these wise words of William James. The greatest revolution of our generation is the discovery that human beings are changing the inner attitudes of their minds and change the outer aspects of their lives. With that, I thank you.
She came from the lowest rung of the social ladder. She met Prince Charming and became a princess. She is Cinderella, the one person we all wish we could be, if only we could. A beautiful morning at bid to the respected judges and members of the audience. Today, it gives me great pleasure to share with you the teenager's perspective on being yourself. The tale of Cinderella is something we can relate to because at some point in our lives, our individuality will be stifled and conformity starts creeping in, catching us unawares. The people who are the hardest hit are teenagers. During adolescence, teens have to make choices that could possibly have an enormous bearing on their lives in the future. Having to deal with issues such as insecurities, self-discovery, parental and peer pressure does not help their cause one bit. To cope with all this insanity, they form cliques. Let me take you to a typical Malaysian school to illustrate my point. At first glance, you might find that everyone mingles with the crowd. Look again, and you will clearly observe cliques that are categorized by several characteristics. The most common being race. In a multiracial, harmonious country, how and when did this practice start? Finding out the answer is not as significant as taking steps to rectify it. We ought to stop paying so much attention to race and start acknowledging that everyone is equal. My late grandmother taught me that I would be a happier person if I were colorblind. We all would. In fact, The only thing that should be separated by color, or anything for that matter, is laundry. We must never worry about what others think of us. We must never fret over what others tell us we should be like. By others, I mean those people who make you wish you were more like them. These people are those who are missing the point altogether, if you ask me. To quote a line from my favorite animated movie, Kung Fu Panda, they are individuals who choose to fill up a cup with just no bottom. Take me, for example. I am frequently labeled as the nerdy professor. It can be hurtful at times, but I never let it get to me, because I know who I am. I thrive for my strengths, and I improve for my weaknesses. Life is too precious to be spent on the whims of others. You will be surprised to know that we spend 35% of the 24 hours daily constantly questioning and pondering over how others perceive us. Yes, you heard me right, 35%. It would make more sense if we convert the same amount of time to generate positive thinking and affirmative behavior. After all, our attitude determines our altitude, remember? Therefore, live your life passionately as you, and just be the best you can possibly be, for now and always. It is undoubtedly easier said than done, but believe you me, the effort will be worth it, because there is only one you in the whole wide world. Only you laugh the way you do, no matter how loud it is. Only you sing the way you do, no matter how out of tune it is. It makes all of us unique in our own way. Even our fingerprints are as personalized as they come, because no two sets of fingerprints are the same. It is as if they are custom made for us to highlight the fact that we are all individuals in our own right. Never try to be one of the populace if what you really wish is to stay true to yourself. In the words of the late Whitney Houston, never walk in anyone's shadow. So, what are you waiting for? Go and just be yourself. When you are who you are, you will certainly find your happy ending, just like Cinderella. For graciously allowing me to be your ears, I thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Jill is an entrepreneur. She's a big thinker with big ideas. She's also an idealist. She imagines a world in which companies place their impact on society as their priority, and the financial results that follow their second concern. She's smart and articulate, and her ideas are really good, but she's struggling to get anyone to take her seriously. So what's the problem? Well, according to the companies that continue to close the door on her, it's because she's only 24. A very good morning, I bid to the honorable panel of adjudicators, teachers, fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to speak to you this morning. Young people, as a rule, are not meant to be taken seriously. They are impulsive, naive, rash, and generally incapable of comprehending the real world. After all, isn't that why they're called adolescents, as in adults with less sense? But I stand here today to disapprove that theory, to prove to you that the wisdom of youth is in the lack of it, or to clarify my statement, the lack of conventional wisdom. It is the beauty of being foolish. There is something about the youth that the more experienced often forget and rarely take advantage of. They are passion. Passion is a valuable currency. Some are rich with it, and some are poor. Some trade it in along the course of their lives, only to be left with a big house and fast car, but empty lives. The youth, low on experience, are often rich in passion, old enough to view the world with a critical eye, young enough to still believe that we can make a difference. Steve Jobs was 21 years old when he founded Apple. Mark Zuckerberg was 20 when he started Facebook. And Bill Gates was 20 when Microsoft became Microsoft. All the people on this list were low in experience and even lower in cash. All they had was a burning desire to realize their visions and the ability to inspire others to join them in their pursuit. My second point is faith. Faith is defined as a belief in something when there is lack of evidence or proof. A child has complete faith in its parents. If its parents were to say it would rain chocolate drops and gummy bears, it would believe them, and then proceed to be sorely disappointed. Trust me, I should know. But the point is not in the lack of raining sweets, but rather in the complete trust in the seemingly impossible. Faith in one's own abilities to go against the odds. Now, the youth may not have such wild imaginations, but I believe it is our hope and faith in the future that is our greatest ally. The 21st century has not been a kind one. We've witnessed acts of terrorism, wars, natural disasters, and even a recent economic recession. In these trying times, is not faith the golden bridge forward into the future? A good example of this would be the recent political revolutions in Egypt and the Middle East, which saw hundreds and thousands of young people defying iron-fisted regimes in a bid for their freedom. They had faith in a better way of life. They had faith in a brighter future for their country. Where did that strength come from? And why did it take this generation of young people to bring about such change? Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of faith. Last, and definitely not least, my final point, acceptance. It has been said that growing older is merely the process of learning to discriminate according to race, color, creed, and all manner of things which are unimportant. Indeed, it is the youth who know the meaning of acceptance. In our own beautiful country of Malaysia, we see a new generation ready to put words into actions. A generation relatively untainted with prejudices of the past, ready to be truly Malaysian. The truth is, we've reached a point where not many of us can claim to belong to one race or culture. We are essentially hybrid, and that is what makes bridging the gap between us so much easier. I do not claim to know all the answers, or in any way discredit the value of real-life experience. However, it cannot be denied that one day it is we, the youth, who will lead our beautiful nation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. I intend to change the world, and if growing up means losing that conviction, may I forever remain a child at heart. The power of youth is not tangible. It cannot be seen, but believe me, it will be felt. And one day, I'll be able to look back and say, we were young, we had momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a princess in a tall, tall tower, and a prince
who was constantly searching for his true love. Her name was, well, if that was what you thought I was going to speak on, I'm very sorry to disappoint you. A very good morning to everyone present here. The topic of my speech for today is matters of the heart. The first thing that will pop up in one's head when I mention my topic would most probably be a sappy love story that ends with a happily ever after. But no, that's not what I'm going to speak on. The heart. Not just an organ that pumps blood to all parts of the body. The heart that can be so filled with love, care, and compassion. The heart, through which we feel joy, pain, and sorrow. The heart. Something so important that we might have misplaced in this rat race of life. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I share with you what matters to my heart. In today's world, one of big buildings and bigger achievements, we fellow Homo sapiens are caught in the sandstorm that is globalization. Everything's bigger and faster now. Phones are more high-tech, countries are more developed. Hey, even my grand-aunt has a Facebook account. Something that would be literally unheard of a few decades ago. Yes, it has its perks. But then, there's the other side too. Besides the fact that your aunt, or in my case my grand-aunt, is stalking you on Facebook. In all this chaos and madness, what have we become? Have we improved? Have we somehow managed to overhaul our entire mindset? Or have we, in our own way, become physically challenged? Are we blind, deaf, or even mute? Have our hearts changed so badly that we're all now blind, oblivious to what happens around us? See something happening, yet we don't bother. We pretend not to. Have we become deaf? Deaf to all the cries and pleas of so many? How many times have we heard someone asking for help, yet classified it as mere noise and moved on? Have we become mute? Refusing to speak up, to take action, when injustice happens right in front of us because we feel, well, it doesn't have anything to do with me, why should I bother? I don't want to get involved. I don't want to trouble myself. In today's technology-filled world, the most commonly used alphabet would be the letter E. Emails, e-books, and sorts. But following up very closely behind is the letter I. Are we that selfish? Remember when we were younger, our parents would say, help your friend, because someday he'll help you in return. Now, that's not what happens. Now, we automatically program ourselves to mind our own business. Even if we do hear someone asking for help, we just pretend not to. Recently, a young girl, Yu from Foshan, China, died after being run over by a van. And ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't a van that killed her. It was the 18 people who passed her by without stopping to help. One man even claimed he was late for work, so he didn't have the time. Seriously? Even if one of them had stopped, ladies and gentlemen, that poor child would still be alive today. And on the 27th of February this very year, a woman walked stark naked in front of Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital, Thai, without a stitch of clothing on her. Anyone in their rightful mind would have thrown a jacket or a t-shirt on her. But what did our fellow citizens do? They were shocked. Some sniggered. Some even laughed. But no one did anything to cover her. Have our hearts all been turned to stone? Child abuse happens everywhere. Children being beaten up both by strangers and worse yet, people they love. Didn't anyone hear anything? We hear of horrid stories of animals being tortured and abused. Did anyone do anything? Yes, a small fraction of society has responded to all of this, but there are approximately 7 billion people on our planet. Where's everyone else? What has happened to our hearts? But to me, the worst is something that people, especially as Malaysians, love to do. Parking in spaces designated for those who are disabled. How many times have you seen this happen? And when the driver steps out of the car, you wonder, which part of him is actually disabled? Why have we become so self-centered that we've forgotten about others? Ladies and gentlemen, we're not frogs living under lily pads that we don't know anything. We're frogs, living in little plastic containers,
We see everything, we hear everything, yet we don't do anything. All of a sudden, we turn a blind eye and a deaf ear and refuse to speak up because we feel, well, it doesn't concern us. But no one stands quite as tall, ladies and gentlemen, as the man who stoops down to help the one in need. I'm not asking you to throw on your cape and go save the world. Just lend a helping hand. After all, charity does begin at home. Is there anyone hurting at home? Your grandma, perhaps, because you didn't say hi to her. Or a friend, with telltale signs of depression. Shouldn't we open our eyes, and more importantly, our hearts as well? I'm not standing here to preach or to tell you what to do. All I did was share what matters to my heart, and hopefully, it will matter to yours too. After all, it is the heart that makes us human. Thank you.
Thank you.
When was the last time you walked past a mirror and walked back again and thought, whoa, was that Beyonce or was it just me? When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and told yourself, I am good enough. I am worthy. Have you ever thought about how much you love yourself? Are you grateful enough for who you are? Well, if you have been doing so, then great job, man, keep it up. But if you haven't been doing so, then let me tell you that now it's never too late. An awesome morning I wish to all the beautiful people here. Before I continue, let me just tell you that if every time I say the word beautiful, you think I'm not talking to you, well then think again. Because the word beautiful means having qualities that possess beauty in hearing or seeing. Notice that there is no reference to gender or physical attractiveness here. If it's just about loving ourselves and being grateful for who we are, then why some, if not most of us, find it so flipping hard to do? Ladies and gentlemen, follow me deeper as I attempt to shed light on two main reasons why we find it hard to value ourselves. And as I go along the way, I shall try my best in empowering you to believe that you are worthy. The main reason is that we compare ourselves to other people just way too much. We look at a girl with a dimple as deep as the Atlantic Ocean and we get envious. We look at some guy with gazillion abs and we feel like dying in a hole. But in reality, the people we compare ourselves to have insecurities just like us. For instance, the dimple is actually a form of deformity. This means I too am deformed. And but for the abs, nice to see, nice to touch. But once you overeat, it won't be a gazillion abs, it will be flags. We are our own worst critic. I quote Adam Jones. We compare ourselves to other people, and then we think lowly of ourselves. We strive to be someone else. We want that smile, we want that gazillion abs. But in reality, is all we got to do is stop comparing ourselves to anyone. As soon as you believe in yourself, it takes a flipping pressure away. You just got to believe in yourself and know that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. But here's the thing, there will always be people judging. People trying to make you feel you're not good enough. You're fat. You're an accident. You're this, you're that. But don't let it get to us. We can never change the things people say to us, but we can change the things we say to ourselves. If you've been waking up every morning saying, I'm a mess, then it's time to change it to, I'm a hot mess. Everywhere we go, we see it. In the television, on the billboards, we hear it in the radio. How to lose weight, how to look like Hulk Hogan, how to this, how to that. I once saw this billboard which stated, lose 10 kgs in 1 month. Fatty France will help you. Or was it Mary France? I'm not sure. Anyway, they showed a picture of a lady who looked like sumo wrestler with a label before, and a picture of the same lady who looks like Tyra Banks with a label after. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's some great Photoshop editing done there. I know that the media is trying to help companies sell their products, but what the media doesn't understand is that the media gives us, the people, the belief that we're not good enough, that we are not like what we see in the television. For instance, have you ever seen that the facial wash ad where they showed Lin Dan, the badminton player, washing his face, and at the end, his face would be so shiny, you could see your face on his. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pure exaggeration. The media tries to tell you how you should look like, which is wrong. There is no such thing as a specific look. You can look however you want as long as you stay true to yourself. It's sad to say that ladies are mostly affected by this. But ladies, let me tell you something. If your dream is to look like those girls in ads who look like Barbie dolls, then your dream is to actually look fake. I mean, look at it, Barbie dolls are plastic. And if girls want to be Barbie dolls, then will guys have to be Ken? If you want to live in a world where girls are Barbie dolls and guys are Ken, then life will be boring. Because perfect is boring, human is beautiful. I mean, look at it. Have you ever thought why Barbie and Ken never had kids? They come in separate boxes. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight another fact about girls. I attend an all-girls school. I'm surrounded with beautiful ladies 5 times a week. And yes, I know some of you guys would love to be me. Day in, day out, I hear girls complaining about being fat, about being this, about being that. You know what causes them to think that they're not good enough? Coke bottles. Yes, seriously. Coke bottles. They all want to have figures shaped like Coke bottles, but they end up complaining about themselves. They don't have figures shaped like Coke bottles. I mean, come on, you want to be in shape, but round is a shape. I'm round. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end, let me just tell you that perfection is not what we are made for. Our Maker from above loves us just the way we are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that's all that matters. Because remember, people who matter won't mind, and people who mind won't matter. I quote Dr. Seuss. So remember, next time you hear, grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, grab yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 6.
A dilemma that most parents and teachers face nowadays is that they just do not get teenagers. When parents think of their kids, they say, lazy, irresponsible, maybe even naggy. Likewise, when kids think of their parents, they say their parents are strict, their parents are uptight. Well, let me tell you, these misunderstandings between parents and their teenage kids may lead to a bad family relationship. Which is why it is very important to have communication between parents and teenagers so that strong bonds may be formed. Before I proceed, I'd like to greet a very, very good morning to our honorable panel of judges, respectable chairperson, accurate timekeepers, teachers, friends, and everyone gathered here today. Ladies and gentlemen, teenagers, or better known as adolescents, can be defined more simply as a period of both physical and psychological growth from the onset of puberty till complete growth and maturity. A person going through puberty often faces many changes both physically and psychologically. These changes will affect the way one thinks and behaves, because a person going through puberty may start to choose their own standards and ideals, to form their own ideas, morals, and values. They start to rely less on their parents for knowledge about life and the world. They may start to want more independence or become more philosophical and ask questions such as, who am I? Why am I here? What is this meaningful thing called life? They want more independence and freedom, but on the other hand, they do not want to give up the full support of their parents just yet. What this means is that 1 minute they feel like an adult, and 1 minute they feel like a child again. They tend to act impulsive, do risky things at times, which makes parents worry a lot while they want to go out and do things independently. Parents worry about their children. They do not want their children to come to any harm. They are aware that there are people out there, evil people. People want to harm young people. which is why there might be a conflict between a parent who wants to keep their baby safe and a teenager who wants his or her independence. Most people think it's very easy being a teenager. After all, teenagers just go to school, come back, eat, and sleep. Am I right? Well, actually, teenagers go through a lot more stress than you think. Most common events that cause stress in a teenager's life might be relationship problems, social problems, peer pressure, high expectations of their parents, so on and so forth. Don't even get started on the workloads we get from school, because to sum it up, a daily routine of teenagers is mostly school in the morning, co-curricular activities in the afternoon, tuition at night. All the spare time we have left is spent on doing homework from tuition and school. So, with stress building up in teenagers day by day, they tend to react to this stress by doing some relaxing activities such as self-reliant problem solving, maybe seeking friendship or comfort in others. Other relaxing activities may also include listening to music, playing video games, watching television, and sleeping. Quote Finn Hudson, "A teenager needs more sleep than a newborn baby." True story. Because now, moving on, this is something I'd like each and every single parent here to know. While each parent would like to have a total control over their child until a date yet to be set, it's unrealistic. You can't ask your child to be their own man while on the other hand criticize him for breaking from the mold. This isn't how it works. You can't ask them to be more active. Because seeing it's what you want, they won't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can have a tennis court built in your backyard. You can buy a running gear for your child. You can even hire a coach for him. Yet, do not be offended while they don't change. Because you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Teenagers are complicated people. They're children trying to become adults. Adolescents aren't monsters. They're just normal children trying to make it among the adults in the world who, let's be honest, do not know any better themselves. Too often, adults forget what it's like being a teenager. They forget the fact that the harder they push their child, the harder their child will push back. So, before I end my speech, I would like to stress on the fact that teenagers are complicated. Parents should deal with them with patience and tolerance. I also like to remind all the parents that when they teach their child all about life, their child teach them what life is all about. Now, ending on that delightful note, I thank each and every one of you for listening to my speech. Thank you.
Listen. What was that? The people around you are all doing it. Breathing, coughing, maybe even sneezing. All these things are part of our lives, part of who we are. But we as humans fail to realize that all these things make music. Life is a tale of music. A very good morning, honorable judges, timekeeper, ladies and gentlemen. What is music? Music is that invisible string in the air that ties us all together. Frank Zappa once said, music is a type of sculpture. The air around us is sculpted into something magnificent. Music has grown in time, from the Baroque and classical periods of Mozart and Beethoven to the modern era of Lady Gaga and the late great Michael Jackson. These musicians all have one thing in common. They reach out to their listeners through their music. Musical preferences differ from one person to another. My grandmother loves the soothing art-like voice of Theresa Tang, whereas my elder sister enjoys singing along to Bruno Mars's latest hit. I am sure everybody here enjoys listening to music. Can you imagine a world without music? What a boring, bland, and absolutely colorless world that would be, as Leopold Stokowski so aptly put it. Painters paint their pictures on silence with beautiful colors. But a musician also paints their pictures on silence with magnificent colors. Music is that unspoken language of understanding, peace, love, and acceptance. William Shakespeare once said, "Music is food for life, food for love, food for the soul." I'm sure everybody here has their favorite song, a song that they would consider theirs, a song that touches them in ways they can never explain. This is the beauty of music. Music can be that language which the soul alone understands, but can never translate. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, wrote many such songs. My personal favorite, The Man in the Mirror, because it tells society to change themselves before trying to change others. As the saying goes, we try to see the splinter in our neighbor's eyes, but we fail to see the log in our own. Ladies and gentlemen, what really is music? Society today perceives music to be only melodious, but that is false. Life is a tale of music. The rustling of the leaves in the breeze, the pitter-patter of the raindrops against the rooftops, or even the gossipy neighbors next door regaling each other with the latest dramas of the defense. These are all different forms of music. The sounds around us make beautiful music. We have just been too busy to stop and take notice. In my younger years, my mother would cradle me in her arms and tell me bedtime stories before I went to bed. After that, before she left, she would say, "Good night, my son, I love you." I failed to realize the beauty of such words, but now I realize that I was so privileged, and still privileged, to have experienced the love of a mother. I know now that I am so lucky to have a family that loves me and showers me with compassion. I'm so glad to have experienced the music of love. Ladies and gentlemen, music can be found in every part of the world. We each have our own music to hold. What is my music? My music would be the conversations I share with my 90-year-old grandfather. How he would polish the shoes of the Japanese soldiers and send telegraphs during the invasion. The discussions I share with my siblings. The talks my parents gave me. The secrets and struggles I share with my peers. And not forgetting the quiet moments I share with God. This is my music, and it will always be a Grammy Award winner for me. I will cherish this music in my heart and in my soul, for I know that it will lead me along the path of maturity, growth, and stability. Music is kind. Music is inspiring. Music is passionate. And I would never ever trade my music for diamonds, silver, or gold, for all the riches untold. For my music is priceless. As Benjamin Disraeli once said, we're not for music. We might say all beauty is dead. Listen. What was that? Sounds like music to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Halo.
Right, test 1, 2, 3. Good morning to the honorable judges, teachers, ladies and gentlemen. The title of my speech today is The Real Challenges of Success. Success is defined as the achievement of something desired, planned, or attempted
everybody desires success. According to Louis Leroux, nobody got anywhere in the world by simply being content. In school, we want to achieve academic excellence. In career, most people wish to climb up to the highest position. However, it is easier said than done. Success doesn't come easy. Why? It is because the journey of success comes with many challenges. That is why many people just know how to dream of success, but cannot achieve it. What actually deters us from facing challenges and move forward? Competitors? Not entirely true. It's self-confidence. Yes, the first real challenge is self-confidence. Usually, self-confidence and success run parallel, fueling each other. Whatever your goals may be, building up your self-confidence to a certain level will play a major role in you achieving success and facing failures that come in your way. The best way to gain self-confidence is to allow your positive attitude to come forth. If you are swayed with negative thoughts, you will be hampering your chances of succeeding in life. By thinking positively, you will be able to overcome difficult periods when success seems a distant dream. It is self-confidence that made Bill Gates to become one of the richest men in the world. Although people laughed at him in the past for saying that every household needs a personal computer, but his confidence proved the skeptics wrong, where almost every one of us today owns a computer, comes with the Windows inside. Secondly, success doesn't become a reality through magic, but it takes determination to overcome obstacles. Staying determined at all times will give us an advantage in handling obstacles resiliently. We will also be able to view obstacles from a positive perspective. At first, obstacles may appear to be overwhelming, but they can become valuable lessons for us in achieving success. With stronger determination, we will find a positive energy pulling us towards success. For example, due to his ankle injury, Dr. Lee Chong-wei lost to Peter Gade of Denmark in the recent Thomas Cup Championship. But it didn't hamper Chong-wei's determination to continue working harder, aiming to become the first Malaysian to win the Olympic badminton gold medal. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is determination. Ladies and gentlemen, the third step in achieving success is action. Why? It is because action speaks louder than words. We must be action-oriented, rather than just being a dreamer of success. As we have seen, many people are unable to achieve success, not because they don't have dreams. Simply, they dare no action. Therefore, we must cultivate a positive attitude to initiate action, to make things happen. Let me share with you. When I scored straight A's in my past examinations, I didn't simply dream for it. I was also aware that having self-confidence and determination is not enough to achieve better academic results. Thus, I always remind myself that only action can produce results. Therefore, I will do all the things that will contribute to academic success. The act of doing school assignments and the act of revising my studies consistently towards examinations are some of the examples. To be action-oriented, we must maintain a positive attitude for all the physical actions, so that whenever we dream about success, we really wish to act on it. In a nutshell, Self-confidence is a spark. Determination is a fuel. And action is a pumping piston. By instilling these three qualities in ourselves, it will equip us well to challenge for success. Thank you.
Please welcome contestant number 10, Sophia Alizura binti Abu Munafi, with a speech titled Steps to Become a Lifelong Learner.
Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test, 1, 2. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Abraham Lincoln. A very good morning and salutations I bid to all. I hope all of you are in the best of health. Well, as for me, I am delighted to be standing here on this auspicious day to talk to you about something that is worth sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. When do we stop learning? Well, the quote that I shared with you earlier opens the premise that learning is a daily adventure that one carries and explores throughout life. Learning doesn't stop just because school does. People who are truly effective generally do not get that way by sitting still. They apply themselves to constant learning and competing against themselves to grow and learn day by day. Make a commitment to yourself to learn something new every day. You will not only enjoy what you discover, but you will be able to apply your knowledge and become a teacher to future generations. So today, I am going to share with you the steps to become a lifelong learner. The first step is to learn how you learn. Determine your own preferred learning style or styles. Know what learning techniques are most effective for you and use them as much as is practical, such as viewing online tutorials on websites like YouTube if you are more of a visual learner. Most people learn from multiple methods but favor one or two. Use your preferences to your advantage. For example, I have a friend who uses songs to remember formulas. Take notes, students. Maybe you should try this, and it is a very impressive way to memorize things. Next, learn where your talents and interests lie. Try many different things so you don't box yourself into thinking that you are only good at a few things. It's probable that you are good at many things, but you won't know until you try. In the words of Muhammad Ali, he who is not courageous enough to take risks accomplishes nothing in life. For instance, when I first got involved with public speaking, I was doubtful of myself because I knew I had stage fright. But now, public speaking has become something that I actually look forward to. But remember to be wary of past memories that tell you to keep away from certain things. As you grow, you develop more experience, coordination, responsiveness, and confidence that one experience can teach, but you can apply to relearning an old experience. Dear audience, look at learning as an exploration, an opportunity, not a chore. Don't just learn things just because they are important or necessary. Instead, learn things that you need to learn alongside things you love to learn. Follow your heart as well as your sense of duty. In addition, you must learn the basics. It can be a grind at times, but you will be able to remember, connect, and figure out all kinds of complicated things through relatively few simple building blocks if you learn some natural math and science concepts. You can look up precise formulas and trivia again later, but the concepts will do most good and save a lot of time in repeated lookups, if mostly learned by heart. Other than that, you should read, and read. Reading is the portal into other worlds and into the minds of your fellow human beings. Through reading, you can never stop learning and be amazed by the creativity, intelligence, and even banality of the human species. Wise people read lots of books, all the time. It's as simple as that. And reading will help you learn the mistakes and discoveries of those who have gone before you. Attentive listeners, you try to broaden your definition of learning. Take a look at the theory of multiple intelligences if you don't know it yet. Consider how you might fit in and where you can improve. Refine your existing skills. Are you already good at fly fishing, teaching, computers, playing saxophone perhaps? Hone these skills and take them to the next level. Try new things, both inside and outside your preferred skill areas. It is also imperative to do things outside your vocation. Experience is the best teacher. Focus on a project or tinker with whatever that grabs your attention. Try lots of different things and notice the results. Apply the results to other things in your life so you can expand the value of what you have learned. You never know when an opportune discovery might arise as a result of your observations and innovative approaches. Last but not least, create. Not all learning comes from outside of you. In fact, some of the most powerful learning happens when you are creating or formulating something for yourself. An essential part of creativity is not being afraid to fail, said Edwin Land, an American scientist and inventor. Creation, like intelligence, can be physical or intellectual, social or solitary. Try different media and methods and refine the ones you like the most. Albert Einstein once said, "Learning is not a product of schooling, but the lifetime attempt to acquire it." With that, I thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Sophia. Contestant number 11 is the Edmund Fu with his speech titled Of Nasi Lemak and Burgers.
Just 1, 2, 3. Good morning, Madam Speaker, wise judges, teachers, and my fellow friends. My speech today is simply entitled Of Nasi Lemak and Burgers. Everyone out there is entitled to interpret it the way they want it to be. Of Nasi Lemak and Burgers, I believe these items are not alien to anyone here. If so, these are actually food items. The former, a local favorite, the latter, a local favorite too, although it originated from the Western world. However, burger stalls have mushroomed everywhere in this great country of ours, yet not as many can be found in America or Europe. But try looking for a nasi lemak stall in America, it is like looking for a needle in a haystack. And yet, we go about condemning the Western way of life. In England, as reported by my family and friends, every kind action is greeted with the word "tha," which is a short version of thank you. In a supermarket or at a bus stop, people are always polite. Hello, good morning, darling. Excuse me, pardon, are culturally integral words in this society. But in Malaysia, I have yet to hear the sales girl thanking you for the payment you made. The solemn stuff to Malaysia is only heard on Malaysian TV. However, there is an exception. Thank you, please come again. Seems to be more of a slogan than a greeting from 7-Eleven. And yet we go about bad-mouthing the Westerners. That is, being Malaysian. We condemn the West, but we follow it more than the Westerners. Did you know that almost every Bahasa Melayu essays on social ills are incomplete without attaching some blame on the Western influence? Now let's get back to the issue of nasi lemak and burgers. Both are claimed to be good and proper meals. Nasi lemak is not just sambal and anchovies, their side orders are plenty. The burger, on the other hand, is not just a bun and a patty of meat. You can add others to make it special. And now, the latest craze for 55 ringgit, the Cow Cow Burger, which is 2 feet tall and comes with 15 layers of meat. Wow, that is a giant meal. And we go about talking about healthy eating. On a scale of 1 to 10 of good food, neither the nasi lemak nor the burgers will get a doctor's or dietitian's approval. Both will get a 0 because they are so high in fats and calories, it can restrict our blood vessels, causing either a heart attack or a stroke. Likewise, if we consume too much of the Western cultural traits, we will suffocate one day. Have you ever heard of the saying, North-South is best, chapati is the best? Chapati with its dal and vegetables are good and comes with a high rating of 8/10. But we Malaysians have the singular honor of adding to the main dish. Mutton curry with loads of coconut cream, beef rendang to complement the dish. How we have become a generation of copycats, following the Western lifestyle of elegance. That is, being Malaysian. We are a society of people who are supposed to be frugal, thrifty, and wasteful. Most Asian thinkers have said that we should eat a balanced diet, eat half food, and give away being down. Full or down, the choice is yours. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "There is enough food in this world for a man's need, but not man's greed." We grow out loud that our traditional performances are supreme, yet it is not patronized by many. To be on the safe and acceptable side, 80 to 90% of our so-called traditional performances are blended with Western-style music. And later, we proudly claim it to be Eastern. Thus, are we Malaysians, or are we Malaysians in Western clothing? We live in a society full of prejudices, and the West has dictated many of our lifestyle, which we ignorantly follow them. But then again, the fact is this: we condemn the West, but we allow their cultural values to creep into our lives. The nasi lemak may be unhealthy, but it is our identity. The better part of the West can be taken as they are humanistic values too, while the better part of the East must be kept. We must have an identity that we can be proud of. As Slobodan Milosevic once said, I quote, "The loss of a nation's identity is the greatest defeat a nation can know. Yet, it is inevitable under the contemporary form of colonization." Unquote. Let's shed prejudices and let's be global citizens, yet with a local identity. Choose nasi lemak. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
One test, 1, 2, 3. I prefer to study. I must be socially inept, and I must be bad at sports. I must be a nerd. Sadly, this is the perception of many members of society today. A very good morning, I bid to the honorable panel of judges, master of ceremony, ever precise timekeepers, my fellow contestants, and members of the floor. The topic I would like to address in my speech today is one that is often overlooked by society, but is nonetheless serious for it, which is stereotyping, the unseen prison. First off, allow me to explain and define my topic today. Stereotyping, as defined by the Oxford Advanced World Dictionary, is to classify or treat based on a mental conventional image. I use the term prison in my speech because I believe it is an apt metaphor as to how people suffering from stereotyping go about their daily lives. I also refer to this prison as an unseen prison because this bias is occurring before our eyes every day, yet we fail to take notice of it. I will further split out my topic today into 3 different metaphors, being the prison, the prisoners, and the jailers. First up, the prisoners. Who are these people I call the prisoners? They are the ones that society have discriminated against, society have unfairly treated. They are the ones that are commonly known as the nerds, the geeks, the forever alones, or, more closer to home, perhaps the Abings or the aliens. Now, these people are those that we have discriminated against. We have only been able to see one trait or characteristic of them, even though they are multi-talented individuals. Now, I also refer to the prison as unseen, which also makes these prisoners unseen prisoners. And stereotyping is all the more dangerous for this fact. Many of these people, they wake up in the morning with a smile on their face, they come onto the world and nothing's wrong with them. But in reality, on the inside, they are fighting hard to break free of their stereotypes. They are fighting hard to break out of this jail which society has placed upon them. The next metaphor I'd like to address, the prison. What is this prison? This prison is the mental preconceptions of society. This is the prison which is binding back the true characteristics of these discriminated individuals. This prison is the one that I would like to say is made up of the stares, the laughs, and the whispers. The stares hurt a lot to them. Whenever, to us, they might just be a mere glance at what we call to be weirdos, a mere turning of the head, but to them, they can see our true intentions reflected in the glint of our eyes. They can see how we reject them. The whispers, they hurt even more compared to the stares. To us, they're just a few mere decibels of noise, but to them, every word, every syllable that they pick up is like a red-hot lance slicing through every inner fiber of their being. The laughs, now they are the most comical, the most funny, but they are also the most damaging. A lot of times, someone misunderstood comes to their midst. There are a lot of jokes made in what we call to be good fun, good humor, but it actually discriminates against them a lot. When I once brought out the class so-called nerd out for a movie, a lot of people had the same reaction, just like, whoa, he knows how to watch a movie? And to them it was just good fun, but to him, it discriminated a lot against him. It hurt him a lot. Now lastly, I'd like to address the third metaphor, which is the jailers. No prizes for guessing, the jailers are us. The members of society who have discriminated against these multi-talented individuals. We have essentially locked them up. We have sentenced them to a life of rules, a life of constraints. And why? Why? Simply because we are unable to understand their passion towards something. We are unable to accept a certain characteristic of theirs. We are unable to accept them as fellow human beings with equal rights. We have essentially locked them up in a cage and thrown away the key. Just because we, as the vast members of society, have subconsciously programmed ourselves into believing that a certain image is going to be associated with a certain type of people, we have discriminated them a lot. Just honestly think, when you first hear the term professional gamer, it's not the first image that pops into your mind. One of an overweight, fat male sitting in a dark, dingy room, holding a bag of potato chips in one hand and clutching a video game controller in the other. Just with this image in our minds, we have effectively discriminated against them, and we have effectively condemned them, innocent people, to a life of rules and a life of constraints where they can never be free. Now, before I step down, I hope that I have managed to impose upon all of you the gravity of this issue, which is stereotyping, and allow me to leave all of you with one last question. If people such as Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, where college dropouts were stereotyped as failures and not given a chance to succeed in life, where would our society be today? With this, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Micah.
Test. The Grammar Book, A Short Introduction to English by Robert Lowe, was reprinted 50 times in response to the demand for good English. However, English language is changing so fast, and youngsters are not interested in a short introduction to English, but rather an introduction to shorter English. Which brings me to my topic, English language, rest in peace. A very good morning, honorable judges, teachers, and friends. English language is a beautiful language. With proper and correct learning of the language, one would be equipped with the skill to accurately express oneself. However, English language has evolved so much, and the internet is the main culprit. Without the internet, Singlish or Chinglish is really bad enough. Malaysian language, also bad enough. But now, English faces an even greater enemy. With Facebook and YouTube, the spread of poor English has accelerated from an epidemic to a pandemic. What I'm really concerned about is how pervasive the online language has become, and its ramifications for the future of English. What started out as a cheaper way to send SMS and to chat more efficiently has grown into a nightmare for English teachers. In March 2011, the reputable Oxford English Dictionary listed OMG, FYI, and LOL as legitimate words. Oh my god, can you imagine that? Oxford accepting these words as legitimate words? These phrases could be easily typed out in nanoseconds. Yet, each successive generation seems to be searching for a shortcut to everything. Besides, bad English has gone mainstream. Casual words like gonna and wanna are showing up in essays and papers. Even hit songs are not spared. A song title from the 80s, I just called to say I love you, sounds more cool than the 21st century, coming out as I gonna say, I love you. Do you know there's even a song called OMG? Hit songs will only pollute the English language even faster. The next generation is learning more and more from each other. It has become a case of the blind leading the blind. When students try to shorten the language, they will suffer from a constipation of words. This is evident when you use smileys, symbols, and emoticons, icons that represent your emotions. Eventually, they will reach a point where they no longer see the text lingo as something informal. This results in extremely poor spelling. Just because you want to type fast, vowels are omitted and punctuation is removed. They can't even spell simple words. Ask any English language teacher here, and they can tell you how they are frequently frustrated by students who forget that the word you contains a Y and an O as well. Besides, there's autocorrect on smartphones, word processors, and web browsers. Nowadays, you don't need to know how to spell to be able to spell correctly. What is even more alarming is, some institutions in New Zealand permit the use of text jargons in exams. Robert Lowe's The Grammarian would roll over in his grave, and Shakespeare would spank us with his feathered pen if he could. If educators who should help to stamp out this worrying trend are instead lending a helping hand, we can say goodbye to excellent English. I can imagine a new generation English teacher telling his students, When you write a summary, remember to KISS. KISS? Actually, the teacher meant keep it short and simple. But to the students, it means keep it simple, stupid. Either way, when students and teachers speak the same lingo, English language is done for. My most honorable judges, I'm not trying to flatter you, but you're safe. Your English language is intact. You learned English before the onslaught of online language, while we are bombarded daily with it. Are we able to reverse this decay and uphold the standard of the English language? Allow me to end with one more example of how much the English language has deteriorated. In the 70s, if you ask anyone the question, what's the opposite of professional? The answer would be amateur. Within the last 2 years, amateur became newbie to newbie, and now just noob, N-O-O-B. Ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of the English language is fading. It has been ripped apart and stripped bare. What remains is just a skeleton of the language. Wake up, my friends! This language should not be ingrained in our lives. And like a shapeless skeleton, let it remain hidden in the cupboard. May it rest in peace so that the beauty of the English language can survive. TQ and HAND. Oops, sorry, I meant thank you and have a nice day.
Like this. You may delay, but time will not. Lost time is never found again. Those are the words uttered by Mr. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. Mr. Benjamin Franklin was one of the many individuals that has contributed greatly to the development of society. He reached great heights simply because he looked at time as an important commodity. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I will be touching on the importance of time management. As a student myself, I'm aware of the great benefits of managing time well, and so are other notable people that have acknowledged this skill. So what is the importance of time management, and how much does being able to manage your time well actually matter? The time that we have today is finite. There are only so many hours in a day, none of which can be reclaimed. Ask yourselves this question: how many hours do I have left today? Whichever the definition of time management may be, it can never be stored, saved, or borrowed. Once it's gone, it's gone. And time management is about making the most of your time. Better time management can help you do more of what you have to do faster. This doesn't mean cutting corners or decreasing quality. You're just doing what you have to do quicker so you can do what you want to do faster. Always remember to work smarter, not harder, and definitely not longer than you have to. Learning time management skills also matters because it will reduce the amount of unhealthy stress you feel. Stress that comes from the many requests, demands, and distractions. The good news, you're in the right place if you're looking to improve your ability to manage time and enhance your peace of mind, which is one of the key advantages of time management. People often think that in order to be organized, we require this, planners, diaries, and softwares. But it goes far beyond that. It starts with the way we prioritize. For instance, school assignments and video games. Which of these activities is both important and urgent? When you know what matters and you do it efficiently, it's time well spent. Strange but true. The act of finishing a task often brings a level of satisfaction and energy that makes you feel good.
Your ability to manage time has a direct effect on your energy levels, developing smart habits to improve your health now and in years to come. Once you apply skills, techniques, and strategies, you'll realize that you actually have qualities that are not being utilized: patience, persistence, self-discipline, and learning how to be assertive. Now, if Thomas Edison did not possess all these qualities, we wouldn't be having a light bulb today, would we? Better time management means you find that you finish more of what you have started sooner. At the level of goals, projects, and actions, this could simply mean the difference between done and doing. As students, we often complain of not having enough time to complete our homework. We also use the lack of time as an excuse not to do revisions. But how is it that other students are able to finish the task given to them and perform well in school? The answer lies within students themselves. Working at the 11th hour always leads to panic, stress, and poor performance. On the other hand, managing time well simply brings enjoyment and satisfaction in its own way. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of time management depends on the value we place on our time. How much do you value your days, hours, and minutes? Value, however, can usually be increased. Developing self-awareness in terms of time is the first step. Learning time management skills being the next. When we appreciate the importance of time management, we learn how to manage it, maximize it, and actually apply those skills. We can genuinely say our time has been well spent. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, time is an important commodity. Let us not neglect the importance of time in our life and apply this skill with hope of creating a brighter future. Let me end with a quote by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He wrote that the only limits to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with great faith that we can actually manage our time well. Thank you.
Fantastic. A very good morning, I bid to the distinguished judges, friends, ladies and gentlemen. 10 years ago, a glass of water was served for free, even in fancy restaurants. Today, we pay 30 cents for it at a hawker stall, 10 cents extra for ice. 10 years ago, people would have thought you were crazy if you talked to a wall. Today, 500 million people do it every day on Facebook. 10 years ago, I would have been considered very, very good looking, a real ladies' man. But today, I'm just a classic case of forever alone. Yes, indeed, our world has seen tremendous transformation and evolution, and we live in times where a rule book to this game of life doesn't exist. The world today is just about as certain as our exam results. That is to say, not very certain at all. And the one reason for this is simple: change. Yes, change. And we all know that this is true. Our world has been rocked to its core by change. But yet, most of us shy away from it instead of embracing change. So simple a thing as a change in schedule can leave most of us frozen and unable to function. What more if we lived in countries like Libya or Egypt, where the cultural, social, and political situation is literally killing people every single day? But then, that's our very nature as human beings. We seek security and familiarity in doing the things that we know in ways that we know how.
That's what we call our comfort zone. But eventually, in this 21st century, we are going to have to come to face reality. Our world has become volatile, uncertain, confusing, ambiguous, but very, very exciting. The things that we consider to be new today may well be considered ancient or old school as soon as next week. In this game now, everything has changed. Even the ancient culture of romance and courtship has evolved from beautifully written love letters and fresh flowers to the all too famous "I'm in a relationship" on Facebook. There is no standard rule anymore, and eventually we are going to have to come to terms with that fact. So now here's where we ask ourselves the all-important question: how do we, the youths of today, deal with this inevitable change? The answer, as William Shakespeare so wisely put it, this above all else, to thy own self be true. You see, on this playing field of a changing world, there no longer exists a time where we can say who our opponents are. We don't know what the conditions are like. At times, we may not even know who's refereeing the game. But we do know one thing for certain, and that's the way we play our game, our way. Now, I hear many of these life gurus talking about change nowadays, and they often urge people to be like a chameleon, able to change the color of its skin to blend in with the surroundings. Adapt, conform, blend in with change, they say. Friends, I beg you, please don't listen. There's a reason why the chameleon isn't king of the jungle. It's about staying true to yourself and doing what only you can do best, despite the change, not allowing change to define the core of who you are as a person. You see, when we face change, the single most important thing is to be able to look it in the eye and play the game your way, as only you can. Have you ever been in a situation where you did something just to fit in with your surroundings, or because you thought that was the way it was supposed to be done? Well, if, like me, you have, then know this. The world doesn't need more people joining the rat race. It needs beautiful, special, unique, talented individuals like you who can play your own game in the face of change. During the economic recession of the 1990s, Tun Dr. Mahathir was one such person. While other Asian leaders were retreating and falling back, admitting defeat to this change, he marched forward and stuck to his goals and philosophies. In a time when nothing was certain and the only constant was change, and when progress is measured in days and weeks, no longer, but in minutes and seconds, he had the strength to stay true to himself and say, come what may, I'm doing it my way, full steam ahead. And it is that very spirit which I seek to share with you today. In this game that we play, only one rule exists: change. Yes, change has become the rule, but the day you allow change to become your ruler, it's game over. Accept change and embrace it as a part of this game that's always going to be there, but stay true to yourself, no matter what the circumstances. And so on this morning, I leave you with that wisdom of generations, that in a world where the only certain thing is uncertainty, there is so much to be gained when we accept change as a rule of this game, but have the strength to play it your way. Thank you.
Good morning, I greet once more. The topic given to me today is Mother Nature Needs Help. It's no doubt that we always listen to news about our environment. Landslides, flash floods, they are all so common now. And so how do we help Mother Nature? Well, first things first, we got to set our attitude straight. Attitude to me is very important. It is more important than success, education, money. It is more important than gift, skill, or appearance, or what other people think, say, or do. Because an attitude will make or break an institution, an organization, or a relationship. We can't change the circumstances around us, nor can we change how certain people may act around us. But we can, however, pull one string. That is our attitudes. How is it that we treat our environment is up to us. We've also got to have the courage to change things. Obviously, the way that things are being tackled now to overcome environmental problems, they're not working. You know, the structure and nature of belief systems is very important from the perspective of an informational theorist, because beliefs are thought to provide a cognitive foundation to an attitude. Therefore, in order to change something, it is presumably necessary that we answer an information on which the attitude rests. Ladies and gentlemen, we've also got to have a lot of courage when we want to change something. You know, 20 years from now, we are all going to look back at Mother Nature and be more disappointed in the things that we didn't do than those that we did. Simple things that might have helped Mother Nature, for instance, recycling plastic bags. Apart from that, we've got to take action. You know, dreaming is wonderful. Setting a goal is crucial. But action is supreme. It's no doubt that we all know that the environment is facing a lot of problems. But a few people act to try to make that right. Sitting at home will not help us solve it. We've got to go out and do something. Action will delineate and define our community. Maybe an action that we take may not be right. Maybe the problems may not be overcome. But, however, action, when taken, will bring fruitful results whenever we hold on to the slogan, press on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, I end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 1. Marchas. I quote Mahatma Gandhi, when there is love, there is life. A very good morning once again. I bid to the chairperson, distinguished educators, precise timekeepers, and members of the board. The topic for my impromptu speech is Mother Nature needs help. Now, what type of help do Mother Nature actually needs? As we know, as we can hear in the radio and in televisions, our Mother Nature is actually getting destroyed each and every day. So, we can help the Mother Nature through 3 main points, which is the first one, through individuals, the second one is through the society, and the third one is through the act of the government. Now let's go one by one. The first one, individuals. Each and every one of us here has to have the realizations of how important Mother Nature is. We have to think of the importance of Mother Nature and do our contributions to preserve it. We have to put our ideas, not merely just words, but put it into action. And as everyone would say, one spark starts another. And if we as individuals start the spark, then the love will be spread among the society. As my second point goes, through the society. Now, the society have to go together and work together to spread the love for Mother Nature. Now, as the saying goes, many hands make light work. Now, the third point is we can help the Mother Nature through the act of the government. The government have to enforce the laws through the illegal deforestations and other activities that can destroy Mother Nature. The government have to punish these irresponsible people. In a conclusion, each and every one of us here have to come together to help to bring a more beautiful Mother Nature. Like I quoted before, Mahatma Gandhi, when there is love, there is life. So all of us has to spread the love to Mother Nature. It is because our future generation also have the right to experience this beautiful legacy. Do we really want to be the generation, because Mother Nature is actually about the legacy, do we really want to be the generation to actually destroy Mother Nature? Think about it. And with that, I thank you. Thank you. We just do everything.
Mark Twain once said, "It takes 3 weeks to deliver an impromptu speech." Unfortunately today, ladies and gentlemen, I am only given 4 minutes. So I hope that I do a good job and prove Mark Twain wrong. A beautiful morning again to respected judges and members of the audience. My impromptu speech for today is, Mother Nature needs help. This statement speaks volumes of truth. Mother Nature is ailing even as I speak. Man has left indelible footprints. These footprints are an ecological way to measure human pressure on Mother Nature. Man's footprints have more than doubled over the past 5 decades. This means that man is using nature's services 52% faster than what Mother Nature can renew. Let me give you an example. Man, if it takes 1 year and 6 months for Mother Nature to renew what we humans use in a year, this is a serious problem that needs to be addressed by us. There are many ways for us to help our Mother Earth. We must remember that we only have one planet and Mother Nature is our home. Without our home, how can we survive? So we need to bear in mind that we need to make it an effort to help our Earth. There are many ways for us. We can start by practicing carpooling, recycling, and many other things. Not only that, the government should consider on setting a certain time for big vehicles such as lorries and tankers to use the road. I think that that's a cool idea. We must remember that Mother Nature is not only our home, it is our future. And it is not exaggerating to say that if the current trend of population and consumption continues, the future of our Mother Nature is bleak. With that, I thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 3.
It is an old Indian saying that we do not inherit the earth, we merely borrow it from our children. A very good morning, I bid once again to the honorable panel of adjudicators, teachers, my fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of my impromptu speech this morning is Mother Nature needs help. It doesn't take a genius to realize that our world today is at the crossroads. We are at a point in time in which this generation will decide effectively how the following generations are going to live and the kind of earth that we're going to leave behind for our children. The first step that I think we should all address is on what needs to be done. Something which I'm pretty sure most of us are educated about. We've all heard about the 3 R's, we've all heard about saving water and electricity, all those simple, mundane things that can impact our world in ways you cannot imagine. The next step is to reach out to your community. Spread the word and the message. When I was nearly in Form 1, when I was first initiated in secondary school, my school involved me in the most amazing environmental program, the Toyota Youth Eco Environmental Organization, in which allowed me to understand the importance of saving our planet. Small, simple steps that can eventually lead to a better educated and more aware society. The people who should be involved, the game changers, the people who need to take action. Who else but us? We have one home. In our entire universe, it has been found that Earth is the only habitable planet.
And therefore, it falls on our shoulders to take responsibility for our own home, look after the earth, and cherish it as it should. The people who need to be involved are the people who take responsibility for their surroundings. I'm not sure if you've heard of her, but there was once an extraordinary individual, a young girl from Canada, Susan Suzuki, who spoke at the United Nations Conference in 1995. She spoke to world leaders and convinced them of her plight back home, of how she could see the effects of global warming and how it was affecting her life. She's known as a girl who stopped the world for 7 minutes. Her actions show that it doesn't take a CEO or some world leader to make a difference. Her simple words touched those people and brought about a greater change. The time to act is now. There is no time like the present. And believe me, in matters pertaining to the environment, it's now or never. Save the world. Be a hero in your own way. Making an impact doesn't only mean affecting your own life, but it means you're changing the life of others, changing the life of your children and generations to come. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, what can be more meaningful than that? Money, fame, and power may come and go, but it is the earth that remains, our own Mother Nature that has cherished us from the beginning and will be there until the end of time. In conclusion, I would like to thank you for the opportunity for speaking about this amazing topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadie. Justin? Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever played Pac-Man? You know that little game, but that little thing eats everything up, and then you go to the next level? It's fun, isn't it? A very good morning to everyone present here. The topic of my impromptu speech for today is Mother Nature Needs Help. So most of you are probably wondering what in the world is Sweden talking about Pac-Man? Well, that's us, ladies and gentlemen. We, human beings. We continuously consume and consume and consume and consume. Not just food, but yes, we consume. But what happens when everything runs out? We can't level up, can we? As we want to. Unless your parents never move their car. So ladies and gentlemen, Mother Nature needs help. So what are we doing? But then the question is posed. Who really does need help? Is it really Mother Nature? Actually, ladies and gentlemen, we need much more help than her. Because we need to realize that what we are doing is leaving a greater impact, rather than we helping her out. We ask everyone to recycle, yet we print pamphlets and distribute them. Doesn't make sense, does it? But then, ladies and gentlemen, what greater way to make someone realize than to smack them on their face? So that's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Mother Nature needs help, and she's letting us know that she needs help by smacking us on the face. Tsunamis, earthquakes, global warming, all of this is because of what we have done. And she's just merely saying, hey, I'm still here. Listen. So ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, what is going to happen? Are we going to continue to live as we are? Or are we going to wake up and answer all the questions, all the demands she wants of us? We have demanded so much from her. When are we going to give it back to her? She wants something too. Ladies and gentlemen, Shakespeare once said, hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. And Mother Nature is one feisty woman. So we better do something soon before we get it back. Thank you.
Testing. Good morning once again. What God gave us is His gift to us. What we do with it is our gift to Him. Look all around us. Everywhere we see it. Nature is so beautiful. Yeah? Mother Nature is so beautiful. The fact is that now Mother Nature needs help. Let's all come together as one and let's do something to help Mother Nature. I'm not saying that there's nothing that's been done. There is efforts that try to help Mother Nature, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So it's not enough to help Mother Nature. There are many ways that we can actually help Mother Nature. Yeah, let's go out of the box. There's many ways, and every person can do something in order to help Mother Nature. Yeah. Let's go back to basic. Every day, trees are being chopped down. Trees are being chopped down for the purposes of development, to make papers, this and that. Do you know that there's a research done? I remember reading this, there's research done that over 520,000 papers are put to waste every year. 520,000 papers is equal to how many trees, ladies and gentlemen, that's chopped down just to be wasted. Secondly, the second ways that we can use to help Mother Nature. Everywhere we go, we hear cars honking, motorcycles running. Let's reduce the usage of our own vehicle and let's move on to public transport. There's a reason why we have KTM and LRT is to reduce the usage of fuel that's actually draining out Mother Nature. Yeah. So, and let me just leave you with Mahatma Gandhi quote, which says, if every single one of us do something gentle, can actually shape the world. With that, I am my proud speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Noraki.
Everybody, silence. Can you hear that small, silent, weeping sound? Do you know what is that? That's the sound of Mother Nature's cry. When did we come to the extent where children can no longer play the field and noon because of skin cancer? We are afraid because of our own actions. So I'd like to greet a very good morning once again to our fellow judges, chairperson, timekeepers, friends and everyone gathered here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mother Nature, like all mothers, is a loving person, a caring person. She gives us so much natural resources. It provides for us energy, electricity. Yet, what do we give her? We give her fewer natural disasters, all sorts of catastrophes. Like all mothers, she gives us so much, but we are ungrateful because man is selfish, man is greedy. When we don't treat Mother Nature with respect, what will happen? Well, right now, this instance, we can see lots of effects happening. Global warming. What is global warming? Well, global warming is affected and caused by greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect caused by? Carbon dioxide. The gas released from cars, vehicles on the road. Other than that, you can also see skin cancer happening. Why is this? Skin cancer happens because of the thinning of the ozone layer. Thinning of the ozone layer usually happens, as you all know, from CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, from refrigerators, aerosols, and polystyrene. Well, these things endanger mankind because of one thing I like to call karma. Because while we do bad things to Mother Nature, she'll shout out and do things to us. So, with all the steps taken by the government, taken by us to stop Mother Nature and heal her, it doesn't work because we just talk about helping, but we don't do action. It's just like, take a tin can, for instance. A full tin can, when you knock on it, it has very little sound. An empty tin can, on the other hand, when you knock it on some surfaces, it gives out a loud sound. This is because, like us, we talk loudly but no action. So ask yourself, you want to be the empty tin can or the tin can, F&N can with full of great delights? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Ladies and gentlemen, Mother Nature is crying out, pleading to the people to save her. She needs help. But the people of society today are blind, deaf, and mute. Change, ladies and gentlemen, is change necessarily good? Would a boy running through the woods ever think that he will become the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln? Would a dark African-American boy ever think that he would be able to lead the Montgomery bus boycott, Martin Luther King? These are examples of great changes. But is climate changes? Is harm great changes? No, ladies and gentlemen, Mother Nature needs help. She's shrouded by hurt. And there's a time for man to step up. Ladies and gentlemen, what causes Mother Nature to be scorned, to be hurt, to be in agony? It is not the wild. It is man himself. The man who walks with pride, strides through the streets. He is hurting Mother Nature. Multinational companies, factories, open burning, all these things are examples of the evil in man. But ladies and gentlemen, there is always the light at the end of the tunnel. We, the future generations, can solve this problem. How so? Everything starts off small. We must work to our abilities. Yes, you may say, who are we? Mere students of society, the dregs of the street. How can we help? Well, ladies and gentlemen, recycling, reusing, reducing, and replanting. Try not to hurt and put salt on the wound that is already deep. Do not follow the footsteps of our forefathers who hurt the environment. Also, ladies and gentlemen, education begins at home. There are 3 levels of education that we can see which helps Mother Nature. First, education at home. Second, education at school. And third, education of society. Because with education, can we create awareness? Can we be practical? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we see that education is the key to change the world. And change begins when you decide. Never give up. Never say never. Thank you.
Mic test 1, 2, 3.
Once again, good morning to the honorable judges, teachers, ladies and gentlemen. The title for my impromptu speech for today is Mother Nature Needs Help. Time is running out. In the modern day, we humans are facing all sorts of environmental problems. Some of them, for example, are the worst is global warming and all sorts of pollution such as noise pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. So This is an indirect message from Mother Nature that currently Mother Nature is in sick, she needs help. Therefore, as humans, we should help Mother Nature in all sorts of ways. The first one is, of course, as human beings, we are gifted the ability to think rationally and wisely. Therefore, it is our duty and responsibility to help Mother Nature by enforcing law acts. For example, the government should enforce stricter rules on not chopping down trees that often and to reduce the timber activities in the forest. Secondly, we should put more effort to help Mother Nature by practicing 3 R's. The 3 R's is an abbreviation for recycle, reuse, and reduce. By practicing this concept, of course, we can help Mother Nature to cure her sickness. For example, we should recycle recyclable items such as plastic, glasses, and papers. And we should reuse whatever things we can do, such as papers. And reduce, we try to minimize our usage of natural resources. The third step is to help spread the message to public to raise awareness. We can do this by having campaigns or spread the message through mass media, such as, doesn't matter if it is printed media or electronic media. Therefore, as a conclusion, the situation right now is critical. Mother Nature needs help. Therefore, as human beings, we should act now before it is too late, because we only have one home, that is planet Earth, which is Mother Nature. Thank you very much.
My test. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The topic that I was given today is Mother Nature needs help. Before I move on, let me tell you about my recent trip to Pulau Bidong. Pulau Bidong is a research center. It is not used for tourism, not like Pulau Redang. And I was able to go snorkeling in clear water and see all kinds of fishes in the coral reefs living in unpolluted water. And then in the evening, I returned home. I live near the beach. And when I go to this beach, it doesn't look the same as in Pulau Bidong. The water's color is the same as this sugarcane juice you buy in your night market. And this is when I realized that Mother Nature needs help. The beach that was near my house and all other beaches in this Malaysia, most of them are polluted, and it is very frightening, because we as Malaysians we take pride in the beauty of our nature. We call upon tourists to come to see the beauty that we have to offer. But what do we want to show? Do we want to show them the trash, the bottles floating around the ocean? No, we want to show them that we as Malaysians, we can take care of our nature. And this is Mother Nature's world. We are only living in it. Even the forests, the mountains are going bald because of logging. CFC from vehicles pollute the air and thinnens the ozone. You may think that vehicles make our lives easier for transportation, but it is actually limiting our oxygen for us to breathe. Everything we do affects Mother Nature. And thus our development, is development helping us or actually bringing us to our doom? And what can we do to help Mother Nature? We can plant more trees. We can reuse, and recycle. We can join beach cleanups. We can learn to dispose the trash correctly. We can teach others to learn how to take care of nature. We
With that, I thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Sophia.
Just want to. No words will come. These words are written in the poem Death of a Rainforest by Cecil Rajendra. Once again, a very good morning, Madam Speaker, wise judges, teachers, and my dear friends. In this poem, Death of a Rainforest, the poet actually reveals to us that whatever nature is facing, no one is going to help them. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, we are all educated people. The third world countries are claiming that they need to educate young people, whereas first world countries are saying that they need to transform their education. And what happens to these educated people actually? No offense meant, but then with education we seek for improvement. And when we seek for improvement, we want to build all sorts of things. Even countries are challenging each other to have the highest cover. And all these improvements, things have to be sacrificed with these improvements. And a very major things that are sacrificed is nature. But sad to say, a lot of people are not able to see that. We strive to be educated. Many people say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, so on and so forth. But have you noticed, lawyers, how many paperworks are there? Are they using a lot of paper? Or let's say, Harry Potter books. Did you know, and scientifically, a tree can produce at least a few hundred pieces of paper. 17 books of Harry Potter will use up how many trees? And with millions sold worldwide, if I believe most of us have Harry Potter books with us, how many trees are killed? And we humans seek for education, we humans seek for entertainment. What is actually happening? It shows that nature, yes, they need a little bit of help. But more importantly, humans need more help. They need help to be educated. That education and everything to strive for one's success is important. But at the same time, there must be balance in everything. Plus, let us try to help the Mother Nature to preserve itself, but at the same time, and as a matter of fact, humans are the one who needs to be educated more and who actually needs more help. And especially we Malaysians, we only emphasize things on things we do not practice. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Mother Nature can't do much. It is we humans that will decide Mother Nature's fate. With that, thank you.
Mic test. Hey Dad, I hate to ask you this question, but what exactly is a tree? And what is a rainforest? Ladies and gentlemen, this conversation might not occur today, it might not have occurred in the past, but if we do not do anything to conserve Mother Nature, this conversation might well be one that I will be having with my son in the future. The topic that I was provided to speak upon today is Mother Nature needs help. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you once again a very good morning as I stand before you today. Allow me first to bring you into a descriptive journey through Mother Nature. The lush moors of the Irish backwaters, the grain forests of Malaysia, and then you also think of another environment, the polluted, the rubbish-strewn cities of major metropolises today. Now, what is the big difference between them? The difference is that nowadays, Mother Nature needs our help. What we consider to be a safe haven, a place where Mother Nature is intact today, a rainforest. However, in the next 50 years, the development continues as it has continued, we might here be seeing a rubbish-strewn dump. Mother Nature. Allow me now also to ask you the question, Mother, when you first hear of this, you think instantly of your own mother, someone who has cared for you, who has guided you, who has helped you, an entity you can trust. But why is it that we, as mankind, when we think of the words Mother Nature, the first thing we think of is the earth? That thing that the environmentalists are going to say, not me, it's just Mother Nature, it's a term coined by environmentalists. What about us? Mother Nature. If we are willing to care for our own mothers, why not Mother Nature? Now, Mother Nature needs help. This much is obvious for all of us to see. I do not think I need to go into this too deep. But we, as mankind, we need to pull together. We need to have a civic spirit. Mother Nature needs help, but it does not need global organizations. It does not need a huge company to come together and invent some technology. What Mother Nature needs is you. It needs you and me together. A simple action, picking up a piece of rubbish a day. If everyone in the 7 billion people around the world, if we recycle 1 item a day, we would effectively be saving Mother Nature. The smallest steps go the furthest way. And in the course of saving Mother Nature, we have to take small steps in order to save it. We must be able to treat Mother Nature as our own mother and help it. With this, I thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm back again with my impromptu speech, which is Mother Nature needs help. Well, I'm about to tell you something very alarming. The world is very, very sick now. We are often plagued by environmental degradation, environmental problems like pollution, extinction, and global warming. Well, let me ask you all one question. Did you have to worry about this when you were young? I'm only 17, and now I'm afraid to go under the sun because of the holes on our ozone layer. Did you have to worry about all these things when you were young? I want to tell you that all of you don't have answers to our environmental issues. So, neither do I. But I want to tell you, if you can't fix this problem, then stop breaking it. Stop making it worse. Stop deforestation. Stop making our environment worse. Okay, so now that we know that Mother Nature needs help, what can we do? Or what can I do as a 17-year-old teen to help Mother Nature? Well, one of the first step I will take is by recycling. Let me tell all of you a secret. My mother actually has a love affair. Now, don't start getting the naughty thoughts. My mother actually loves recycling. Every week, she will recycle a stack of old newspapers. I admire her for doing so, because by doing so, she's playing a part to save our environment. So I'd like to emulate her by practicing the 3 R's. Reuse, recycle, and so just recycle your reuse and reuse your refuse. Okay. The second step I'd like to take is to reduce the usage of air conditioner. Yesterday I was just rehearsing my speech in my teacher's house, and sad to say, my teacher actually on the aircon for 24 hours a day. Sorry teacher, I'm not trying to condemn you. I actually disagree with this habit of yours because I think that this will actually make our earth more sick. This will actually reduce the CFC into our ozone and actually make it worse, make these environment issues worse. And the last step, since I don't have much time, the last step I'd like to take is by being responsible myself. I won't simply throw rubbish anywhere. I will throw it where I'm supposed to throw it. And I will just start by something small. Just be responsible myself and just not to pollute the environment. By taking these small steps, I believe that I can actually make a difference. Now all of you here, I'd like to ask you another question. What can you do to save Mother Earth? Since we know that Mother Earth needs help, what can you do? Well, Well, let me tell you, never think that you cannot do anything, because you can actually do something. Even as a 17-year-old me, I can actually do something to save Mother Earth. Confucius once said, the journey to 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So ladies and gentlemen, let us take the first step to curbing these environmental issues. Thank you.
Mic test. A very good morning to the honorable judges and members of the floor. The topic that was given to me today was Mother Nature needs help. Ladies and gentlemen, this goes without saying. Mother Nature truly needs help. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, the temperature of our planet has been rising. And this is due to so many different factors, one of which being pollution. And by pollution, I mean thermal pollution. Every step we take towards the development of our people is a step away from nature. We need to start developing new technologies. We need to start looking into new aspects where we will be able to cut down on pollution. One other thing that we are lacking is self-awareness. I was walking back home from school one day, and an elderly man was burning rubbish openly. Not only was he doing it alone, he even asked his grandson to help him do so. What does this prove? This proves that not only are we spoiling ourselves, we are instilling negative values in our children. What is to happen to our future generation? What is to happen? What is going to become to our future generation? Are they going to be continuing what has been done? Another thing is that as humans, we have the tendency to wave aside what we assume as being less significant. As humans, we also often ignore our intellect and act upon emotion. We look more on the economical component than the environmental one. I was in a supermarket one day, and there was this sale regarding insect pesticides. We all know how bad insect pesticides are, right? And they were selling jumbo sales of insect pesticides. Major corporations are actually embracing us to use insect pesticides, which are bad for our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, what we need today is change. A change that will be able to revolutionize the future ahead of us. In order to be the change you want to be, you need to be that change. Mahatma Gandhi said that, and he has proven himself to be worthy of that statement. Thank you.
I'm just. A very good morning to all, once again. Pause for a moment, slow down, and take a look back at every single natural disaster and any Mother Nature related problem that has occurred in our world. It's a very, very bleak scenario, ladies and gentlemen, and there is no denying today that Mother Nature needs help. But what I want to speak about today is something on a much more personal level. We all know that Mother Nature needs help, and we know that we have the technology to do it. We talk about the thing of the ozone layer. We can manufacture ozone. We know what needs to be done. We talk about global warming. We know the causes, and we are in a position to stop it. It's not the technology, ladies and gentlemen, it's the humans that are causing the problems. So today, what I want to share with you is the reason why we cannot give that help to Mother Nature. Since beginningless time, man's head has always moved faster than man's heart. We come up with all these technological advances, the atom bomb, the nuclear bomb, nuclear technology, antimatter technology, the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland, but we don't stop and think, what is this that we are actually manufacturing? We have the tools to do it. We can help Mother Nature. It's just that we don't. So what I want to say today, one loud and clear message is this. We can. We can help Mother Nature, and we have always been able to help Mother Nature. It's just that we don't. And so on this morning, if there is one message that I can leave you with to consider, it's this. Pause for a moment and think about the implications of what you do before you commit to action. A very good example would be nuclear technology. When they first came up with the atom bomb, thanks to Einstein's theories, in 1945, when the Americans bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki on the August 8th, August 6th, and the August 9th, they knew what was going to happen. They knew it was going to devastate the earth. But nobody thought about what truly was going to happen when they let that bomb drop. So today, I tell you this. We can help Mother Nature, and Mother Nature is in desperate need of our help. When the world and us are in one, it is that magic moment when you see the invisible, you feel the intangible, and you can do the impossible. We can bring Mother Nature up again. All it takes is for us to slow down and let our hearts tell us what truly matters. And so today, I leave you with a short poem that I came up with in quarantine. No matter how advanced we get, no matter how high we fly, we'll always need the touch and help of nature's awesome might. So come on, friends, and join me now. Hear nature's desperate plea. Let's bring back the glory days of old, because that's how it's meant to be. Thank you.